I guess still put stuff in the chat bar even though it hasn't
No,
started.
James, I think now we should be live.
Oh, now we are live.
Because I hit the live button, and it says live on the upper corner. So, hi everybody! It's amazing. So, welcome to Prison Pretty. Welcome all the people watching, and welcome. We have Lennan, we have Anna, we have James, and we have Manuela. Cool.
Yay!
Why are you guys so silent?
We didn't get a chance. We don't know what we're going to do, honey. You will have to.
Yes. Can you see us, milady? Let us know in the chat, because I think we should be on now. And so, what we're up today is, because normally we just hang out. So I thought that today we would invite everybody with us. Yes, we're good. Cool. So today I thought that we'd play a game, because we've played games before, but never live. So I wanted you guys to have your decks, at least one deck, two deck. Everybody have their decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lennan, what decks do you have? Let us see.
I have them all like spread out, but I have the Thoth, and it's like divided major, and then each suit is divided up on the table. So I've got that in order, and then I have the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy because it's summer here, and that's just my shuffle. Like it's not in order. It's ready to be plucked from.
Anna, what do you have?
All right, so I thought I would go with my two old school babies. I have my Rider-Waite-Smith Centennial. That's the one in order, full on top, and then I guess the deck that knows me best is the Triomphe della Luna Paradoxical, of course. So
No surprise.
No surprise there.
no surprises here on this side. No, I just quickly want to say hi, James. Hi, Manuela, because I didn't get the chance to say hi to you guys yet. So hi.
Hi.
So what is James having?
I brought out the alchemical the alchemical tarot and the Thoth. I figured they went well together, so yeah.
Good choices. What about Manu? Did you have any time to dig out decks because you just came home?
Yeah, well, I picked the Witchy Cat Tarot. That's by Dame Darcy. This one is randomized. And then I do have the Shadowland Tarot as well with monsters. And I'm trying to get that one in order. That's why I'm looking down and yeah.
I'm doing that too.
I think we're all going to be doing that. And I thought, because I was sure that we're going to have enough cross decks today. So what I bought is my light seers. And then just because I got it yesterday, the original Star Child thought.
Well, lovely Kelly Bear bag too.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you get any more? Just that one?
Not yet. One day. So, and hi everybody in the chat. Also, keep the comments going, even though we might be blabbering the whole time, but I'll try to be watching for the chat and let us know if there's something wrong with video or audio or anything. And what we're going to do today, because even not the guys don't even know, but see how the trust is here. Like the perfect trust. You guys are all here and you don't know what the F we are doing. And that shows some character. And so I have a bunch of random questions. And we're all going to answer those either by choosing a tarot card if we feel like we know what we want to answer. But then when the question feels too hard or you don't know, you don't have the perfect instinct, then you just shuffle, take a card, and free flow your answer. Try to find it in the card.
Awesome.
So all good?
Yeah.
I like that.
That's fun.
Cool. And also, people watching in the chat, if you want to add weird random questions, I'll pick them out and ask them if if they look good. And also you guys, Lennan, Anna, James, and Manuela, if you get, a good question coming out, we can do that.
All right.
So good.
Fun.
Yes.
And hello to everybody in the chat as well from Sweden. So I see faces here and Amy as well. So yeah, I want to say particularly hi to Amy as well, because Amy and I will be meeting just in 3 hours for another live. But yeah, that's something for later.
Yeah, you get a live Sunday going on.
Yeah.
I see Anna is having beer there in Amsterdam. There's some red wine here in Finland.
Cheers.
Is James having some
Water.
water? Early morning.
Vodka.
Well, it's like 11. It's like 11 a.m. for me.
I love that vodka. So, should we start? What do you say?
Yeah.
Get the ball rolling. Okay. Let's start with an easy question. And sorry, I'll be looking at the questions. I'll be looking at the chat and going all weird here. But so, what tarot card represents best your current situation or vibe at your life? So, what is your current mood today? What's the card for that? And then you guys can start digging out your deck or start shuffling or however you feel. And I can start so that you guys get some time. Because, I knew the questions, so I could cheat. No, I thought that I wanted to give you guys some time. Hi, everybody in chat. So what I chose is the Three of Cups. And what that represents to me now in my current mood and vibe is that I'm feeling awfully social lately. And that's really weird to me. I want to be going out, meeting friends, going to nice dinners when the world is open. And I've been more social in these past few weeks not compared to the COVID life, but even compared to normal life before COVID. And it feels good. So that's why I went with the Three of Cups. And whenever who has a card, you can just pull it out. And yes, Lennan, go.
I have a card. Three of Discs, which we're seeing some patterns, right? We got the threes going already. But I picked this out because this weekend, so you said right now, present time, we're getting ready to go on a trip this week. And I am, y'all know that, the matriarch of the family or whatever you want to call it. It's about shuffling everybody, getting all the clothes done and getting all the car maintenance done so that you can take a road trip and things like that. So it's been like work for the last couple of days. And then even today, we've got some more car stuff to do later on. And I don't know, I just feel like this is the vibe I'm getting for the present. So it's all about the work. And then, we'll be reaping the benefits later on in the week. But right now, it's all about the work, the preparation.
Yeah.
So
it's always hustle when traveling with kids and, family and everything.
Yeah. But we need this. So I'm willing to do the work.
Good. So who's ready?
I'll go.
Go, James.
So I picked the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. Mostly because of, I would say, the perspective in this image specifically, the money's falling out of the pockets. So I don't know, it's summer here, which means for me personally, I'm probably spending more money because I'm going outside. I want to bring food and sit in the park and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of a more literal way of looking at it. But I could say that it's kind of like an in-between stage of my life as well. So I'm appreciating the new viewpoint.
Okay.
Nice. Can I point out also that 1 + 2 is 3?
Yes, the three is alive and well.
Okay, Anna, Manuela, no pressure. What are your theories there? How can Lennan find 3 in your card?
I'm not trying to find a sign and everything, but
Do you have one, Manuela?
Well, I don't have any 3 in my card as far as I can see, not even if I do a bit of math. But I picked the Sun card, just as the feeling of that very moment. Today we went outdoors, the whole family, we met friends outdoors. It's very, very sunny in Sweden. Even in Sweden, it can get really hot, actually. And I have so pale skin, so I always need to hide from the sun in one way or the other. So when other people take off their clothes, I dress up very intensely just in order not to get any sun on my skin at all, because I really hate sunscreen. So to describe the moment that day, I think the sun card is very fitting, and also that feeling of, being a bit on the road, that little figure sitting on that many-legged alpaca. Some kind of youthfulness about that card, and so and it's a 19, so it could be like 3 times 3 perhaps if I add it up. From Honey, Lennan, and James, and the one is kind of the magician card that Anna will like, that magic, that not magician, but that kind of unknown magic that will happen when Anna draws her card. So it's represented by the one, I guess. So we'll see what Anna will bring.
All right. Okay, I usually don't have this, but I'm going so much back and forth today. So first I picked the 3 of Swords, then I went to the 5 of Swords, and now I'm back at the 2 of Swords, just because I can't make a decision. So that's exactly what I have here. It's, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit all over the place, and just, as you can tell, not knowing what to choose, and just a little bit in my own head with my own thoughts, own kind of doubts, and just stuff to figure out, I guess. So that's why I went with the 2, which is very just still, I'd say. So, yeah, that's my card. It's a little bit of a bummer.
No. That was all the point for the first question. To, feel each other's mood, see how we are, and let's see at the end how we're feeling.
Either way, you want to stir me up, so that's good. But yeah.
And just remember, if you have any good questions, also put them in the chat, or you guys just shout them out. But we're ready for the next one. Okay. Imagine you're insanely famous person, and they want to make a movie out of your life. So there's the starting scene in that movie that's made about you, and you're walking in to the screen for the first time in the opening scene. What song is playing on the background, and what is happening in that scene in the movie about your life?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the most boring song? No, I'm just kidding.
You know your song?
No, I said, what's the most boring song?
Oh, for you.
No.
No, that's not true.
So again, to give you guys time, just start picking your deck, start thinking, because I know it's a hard question, but whatever song starts to play in your head, that might be, the right one. But to give you guys time, I'm starting with the Tower card. And this is for AC/DC's Thunder.
Thunder.
You gotta imagine.
Oh, I can so hear that. I can see that scene.
Yeah, there's some flames, explosions, and I'm actually walking into that scene with my big brother. And, this song always makes me think about him. We're walking and, shit is blasting behind us, and AC/DC is playing. So that's how we start the movie.
So that's what you want. You want, like, the beginning of the movie, it's going to be like mostly like a childhood scene, right?
Yeah.
Or would it be?
Starts there.
Okay.
So bloody finish, honey. Someone says in the comments.
Thank you, lady.
Yeah, I would watch that movie. I would be intrigued with the rest of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, were you and your brother blowing shit up?
What?
What were you and your brother doing in this scene? All this
I don't know. It's just the way I want to make the movie, because I can write the movie. it doesn't mean,
It's
you can
factual,
write the shit.
right? Yeah. Okay. Oh well.
Yeah. You can still change your card, Lennan. Is anybody ready already with the song?
Yeah, I have my song.
Go, Anna. I
Picked
thought
one of
you
my
would.
favorite songs. It's actually a cover, but it's All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. One of my favorite songs, and I love that rendition. And to me, this is a watchtower. So there. And I think the opening scene would be maybe some kind of weird psychedelic trippy vision that I've had of this card, by the way. And just me stepping out of the water, flowing through that, over that yellow road or golden road. And just, I think with the lyrics are, there must be some kind of way out of here. All of that is, I think that it's about just rejecting all of the shit that we have here, and just trying to make your own way through life, and just the journey, and just looking for that. I think the search for authenticity and doing your own thing and making your own beliefs and all of that. And there's a lot of fear that you need to go through, or unknown, but I think that's actually a great starting point of any journey because you go anyway. So
Yeah.
that's mine.
Look at the chat, Anna.
Yay!
There's Anna. I just want to bet.
How did you know?
So, who's ready?
I'll go. I pulled the Queen of Staffs because I was like at a loss, so I figured looking for some inspiration. But the first thing that came to my mind was Valerie by Amy Winehouse.
Ooh.
For me, it's like a go-to song, and whenever I would do like karaoke with my friends in college, I would always ask for Valerie, and we would always jam out. So I imagine it as like it's a fun song, but you're almost like in the middle of the plot. So if the movie's starting, it's almost like a lot has already happened, but the audience doesn't know what's already happened, and like you're just kind of throwing them in right in the middle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you show a card?
Oh yeah, the Queen of Staffs, or like the Queen of Wands.
God, I love that deck. Damn.
It's so pretty.
It is. It's amazing. So, Lennan.
I'll go. Okay, so I actually shuffled and pulled some cards to help me. Now I thought about like kind of like what you did, like thought about my siblings and how freaking country we were. And I mean like scraggly white t-shirts, no shoes, never ever no shoes. And we were backwoods people, like, country bumpkins. And I pulled the Seven of Swords. Oh, Seven of Swords. And the Eight of Wands. Oh, where's my camera? And that made me think of nighttime, summer nights. And it made me think of the song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. And it also made me think of Midnight Train to Georgia. And that kind of like, the crickets are going and there's fireflies everywhere and a train is going, like you can always hear a train here in Georgia, like, and it'd be midnight, it'd be like dark, and you can hear that all you hear is a train and the crickets, and we're barefoot and we're sitting maybe on a lake dock, or we're running through the woods barefoot trying to catch frogs and shit. And that would be like the beginning of that, just a real, like southern barefoot chillins running through the woods. And it would be one of those songs, like one of those real country songs that you would like to hear at night with the crickets playing. So, and how deceptive and deceiving we would be, like sneaking in each other's backyards and, stealing road signs off roads. Not that we ever did that. Okay.
No.
Sure.
But yeah, it would probably start out real country and, bumpkin central. So
we have 4 really different movies going on. So what about Manuela? How are the movies in Sweden?
Well, to summarize my life with the song, well, actually, I don't think that the Queen of Wands really is my court card or describes me very well. But for the opening scene of a movie about me, I would probably anyway choose the Queen of Wands just to make a bit of an impression, so people are not falling asleep right from the start. And I would choose a song by Kate Bush, because I really enjoy doing kind of covers of a bit eccentric artists like Kate Bush. She's a bit eccentric. In particular, she was when she was young. And there's one of her songs called "Them Heavy People Hit Me in the in a soft spot" or something like that. She wrote that song when she was quite young, but it's really wise about what other people can teach us. And I really enjoyed doing like a performance on that song once. So I'm doing that on that kind of open mic party. So I guess a bit of that, more hidden sides of who I am would be a fun way to start that movie. Yeah.
And no surprise, it's Kate Bush with you.
No, it isn't.
No surprises.
I'm but really, no one's going to be sleeping through Kate Bush. So you got that going.
No.
5 great movies. I'd watch them all. And once again, people in the chat, remember, if you have great questions, just keep them coming. But are we ready for the next one?
Sure.
Lennan is fixing their hair. I just came back from swimming, so I'm having the swimming bun too.
Mm-hmm.
So let's change the topic a bit and let's go into the dream world. Sounds a bit more like Anna's movie.
Yeah, I was already there.
What is the most common theme in your dreams? You know, I don't mean necessarily if there's one same dream happening, but the most common theme that would describe your dreams. So you can think about that.
How much time do you have?
A lot.
What is the
Carol gets 78 cards and Lennan starts.
Well, it's like, I have so many dreams that have literally ripped the rug out from under me, that a couple that I've like written down, some even from childhood that I still remember like they happened last night. And I don't know, I guess I don't even know what they all would have in common because they're all so different. Kind of like our movies, you know? They all seem real different, but then they may have a theme. So I'm going to shuffle and pull a card to see what the damn tarot deck says.
Okay, and while Lennan is shuffling and you're thinking, I'm going to go with the 10 of Pentacles. And here it's not so much that I have like happy dreams. But I mean, mostly my dreams are about real people and real concrete issues. Every once in a while, well, a few weeks back, I saw a dream where I was flying and that was cool. But most of the night, I'm just seeing, you know, not so pleasant dreams with the regular people. Like, and I'm not happy because I would love to have more fun dreams, more adventures, because, you know, everything is possible. So that's why I'm a bit disappointed with the theme of my dream. But I'm happy to hear what you guys are dreaming about. So whoever's ready, just go.
Shall I go? Yeah. All right, so I've just picked 2 cards because that would be the exact theme of my dream. So can you maybe guess? I don't know. That would be fun.
Ooh.
It's one word.
One word for both of those?
Yeah.
Disappointment?
Disappointment. Yeah, it's the apocalypse.
Really?
For real. I have had so many dreams about the apocalypse. And
Wear a leather jacket to bed and then be the badass in that apocalypse, okay?
Yeah, my leather jacket is just like my house anyway. So, someone said fuck. So yeah, no, for real. Maybe it was because I started watching movies about the apocalypse. I mean, ever since they came out, there are quite a lot of them. But also, it just transforms in my dreams. Really, just buildings. What's the word? Like abandoned and
Like
then
ruins.
completely covered in nature, in vines, and then also just like the whole lava explosion stuff. Um, and but it's not necessarily like terrible or something. I don't wake up screaming. It's just like other dreams with strange feelings. That's when you wake up. Like maybe crying or laughing or. But I also dream about, and I remember that really vividly. I was in this big group with everyone had backpacks, and then we were just, I don't know, walking to a safer place. But then there was this huge billboard full of papers and photos of people and their names, and then like so that people can find each other again and see who is still alive and all of that. So yeah, it's pretty apocalyptic, kind of like the what are we supposed to do now kind of. That's the theme of my dreams. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, Two of Swords energy right there too. Like, what are we gonna do now? Which path to go? Because this one's on fire.
Yeah. It's like this happened, but then I also have to pick this one, right? Because this is literally like the new age.
Right.
Do you feel rested after those nights?
Not so much, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, what about James? Manuela, you ready?
Oh, I have a card. I pulled I was at a loss, so I pulled a random card, and I got death, which for me makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of the themes I find in my dreams are surrounding like very literal, actual death. So this card's speaking more literally, but just like I guess like at first a lot of them it would not seem like death is a theme, and then by the end, something happens where somebody dies, or I figure out somebody's dead, or somebody's life comes into like jeopardy where it's not so good, and that's usually when I'll wake up. So the dream itself could be about anything, and then the end has to do with death, and that's what makes me like jolt awake.
But it's not you, right? Is
Not usually.
So is it like more of a detective thing, or is it more like The Sandlot? Like you're just finding these people that are dead, or is it people that you know?
No, I don't know. Usually I don't know any of like the people. It'll be like a very random scenario, and then I'm like, oh, they were dead all along, or something like weird, and there's no reason why or anything like that.
Maybe it's the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, our dreams are crossing over.
I was just about to say the same thing, because just the other night I had a dream that one of my son was dead, and he had been dead for days under the kitchen table. And then I gave him like something, I shoved something in his mouth, and then all of a sudden he woke up. And I remember I kept checking his heart to see if it was beating, and he kept shoving me off and was like, I'm fine, Mom, I'm fine. And I woke up like, what is this? Yeah.
That's so symbolic.
Yeah.
Sounding.
So I think it's like we're all synced up, and it's so weird. Like something will happen to us, and then I'll post something about it on Instagram, and Anna will say the same thing. She's like, "I'm going through the same shit," and it's so weird. I feel like so many of us are linked that way. We're running through the same creek waters.
I'm loving the comment by Viola here. Sounds like you guys don't get much good sleep.
Yeah.
No,
So
I think you do, right? It's just the dreams you remember, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what about Manuela?
If I'm completely honest, I dream a lot about exes. In particular, one ex, which is a bit embarrassing because we broke up like many years ago, and it feels like that kind of relationship is still haunting me. So I picked the Six of Swords with that little boat, making the transition over from one shore to the other. And it feels like everything, well, I'm heading to new shores, everything is fine, but then there comes that sea monster kind of lifting that boat right out of the water. And it feels like inexplicable to me almost why that kind of topic is coming back all the time, but that's how it is. So, yeah.
I think you're not alone with that one. I think we've all had those dreams, I think. Well, maybe not Lennon, you don't have so many exes.
Yeah, I have like none. No.
Yeah. So that's why I was counting.
I have lived a very boring romantic life. It's not boring to me. But anyway, I haven't gone yet, have I?
No.
Okay, so look, I was saying that I have so many that stay with me that I have to like write down. And just like the other one, with my kid dying, I didn't even write that down. I was like, I don't know what this is about, But I guess a theme would be me taking a stand towards something, and I'm always in some weird place, like some kind of the locales are so weird, like I've never been, like a warehouse apartment building, like I've never lived in one of those, so I have no idea about living in a warehouse, a gutted warehouse that they've turned into apartments, and so it's like always in these weird locations that I know nothing about, and I'm usually walking through them, walking down hallways, stuff like that, and that's why it was interesting when I pulled this card. I pulled the Two of Wands, because I seem to be walking through these locations, either with people, because, I rarely see faces, like faces. It's more like blurs of people, and you know that they're there, and you're talking to them, but it's not really a full-on face. And then I pulled the Emperor, and immediately I thought, oh, my God, my themes is daddy issues. I was like, oh, hell. But it's more so that I think the theme here with the Emperor is that I'm standing in my own, that my parents aren't ever in my dreams, that I rarely dream of an authority that's above myself in my dreams. So I think that that's what this is saying, is that usually, even if I'm with a crowd of people or whatever, I'm usually like the leader of the group or some crap, and there's never an authority that's above me. So I think that that's what this is saying. But yeah, immediately my intuition was like, you got daddy issues. But I don't think I do. Just saying. But then this was so cool, because I thought, I'm always walking through these locations, all these weird buildings and stuff, and trying to find treasures and crap. So I don't know. It was just really cool how the tarot does this. Mm-hmm. So that's a theme.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Do you write? You said you write your dreams down a lot, Lennon.
I have some from childhood that I didn't really need to write them down, but there's one that stays with me that I think about all the time, and it's literally, I can think of all the elements of that dream like I dreamt it yesterday, but I know I was like 7 when I had that dream. And it was actually really weird, because about a year ago, my youngest told me that he was telling me of a dream, and it was almost the exact same dream that I had. So I thought, wow, maybe we're going through the same thing, because we're about the same age. So it must be a theme with that age group, right? That may be something that a lot of people that age dream about. But then over the years, I've had dreams that were so like, oh, and you wake up, and it's not so much that they've terrified you in a way, or that they've like made you scared. But I know I had one dream a couple months ago that messed me up for weeks. Literally, I was scared to do anything. I was scared to do anything that may even like go towards the themes of that dream, or the elements of those dreams. And that dream stayed with me. And I wrote all the elements down, because I think that we can go back and, like, Hani's trying to get us to figure out is, maybe there's an underlying theme to all of these, that's why they're sticking out, is that there's a theme here that we need to unlock. And we may never unlock it, but it's fun to write them down and see if you can figure it out. So for me.
So what about you, James? Do you write down your dreams? I know I do when they feel important enough.
Yeah, I have not been as good lately writing down my dreams, but I would find that the more that I wrote them down, the more I started to remember them. And then I guess like if you, I don't know, for me when I would meditate, I would have similar like themes between the dream and the meditation. The more I wrote it down, but do all of you write down your dreams or no? Hani doesn't. Neither does
No.
Manu.
You know, my journaling skills are like shit.
No.
A lot of people record them like on their phone. They'll just like do a video and just like, I dreamed this and this and this and this, and it's like a video recording or a voice recording. But that it's just so cool to me to look back on it even years later. That's the only reason I do it, really.
I like what Meg is saying. I've heard that buildings in dreams represent self. You know, of course, that only the dreamer can say, you know, what it represents, I guess. But I kind of like that because you were talking about buildings a lot, Lennon, going through buildings. And then also, of course, in the apocalypse, buildings are quite a big thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be oh my God, this is terrible, horrible.
Right.
Human species, you know, are gone. I remember because it was the first page of my journal, my previous journal. I still remember that dream. Though, like this whole cityscape was covered in these vines and in plants. But then I remember this feeling of like a swing, being on this really really long swing, and it was actually in my dream because I was like trying to climb the buildings on the vines on the sides, and then because that didn't work, somehow there was this swing that came from a really tall tree from these vines, and then I was just like swinging in this apocalyptic,
like Tarzaning.
Yeah, but like not Tarzaning, actually, more like a secret garden on
Oh.
yeah. But it was actually, there's also this serene side to it, I guess. That's where the tower comes in also, right? Like you have to destroy before you can build up again, but then there's that piece in the middle.
Yeah.
I also kind of see in the Six of Swords, to be honest. It's like that, kind of like that calm journey in between two shores.
I love to swing.
Yeah, me too.
I get sick when I swing.
Oh.
I get sick too.
Well, what do you play on at the playground?
Very
Yeah.
true. More of a
That's
slide kind of guy.
The bumpy thing that
Oh,
goes.
seesaw.
That's good.
So Lennon, what would a warehouse mean to you if you were to say like about yourself if the building was you? You said you dream about like gutted warehouses that are sometimes like turned into apartments and things like that.
Well, they're all like the dream I had a few months ago was about a building that was super modern, and on the outside it was like brick, and it had like these old windows where the window glass itself was like melted in some places, like that's how old it was. But then the inside was all chrome and white walls and, you know, nickel, stainless steel and nickel appliances and things. And it was just all very clean lines. And that's not me. So I had walked down a couple of hallways and got on an elevator, and there was a huge commissary, like I guess cafeteria, like it was a hospital. I guess it kind of looked like a hospital, but then it was an apartment because we lived there. Like me and this person lived there. And then there was there was bathrooms because, you know, that's where the thing that happened messed me up was. And then, I don't know. It's just like very clean. I guess if this was a thing of self, it would be about how maybe I would want to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more clean with my organization, and not such a maximalist, because I'm like almost a hedonist with my thinking. And maybe it's a way, because a lot of my buildings are more modern, clean lines, you know, not any plants anywhere, and not any, you know, just like not whimsical, you know, it's all very square. And so I think maybe it's suggesting that I put such an emphasis on myself about being unique and being fluid. And I value that. When I value that about myself in a real life sense, then in the dream world, it may be trying to combat that with some more organization, some more clean lines, some more minimalist, you know? And I think that I value that in my dream world, because I don't put any emphasis on organization and the more active parts, I guess you could say, the more clean, and I'm more like water in my everyday, in my real life. And then this is like air mixed with fire almost, and in terms of elements, I guess. Maybe more earth, because I'm not really earthy in my everyday in terms of an element. So maybe this is like, you know, I need something solid in my dream world because I'm already whimsical in my everyday. So I don't know. I could overanalyze that the heck out of that. But those are my initial thoughts on it. Is that it
I love that.
Seem very clean. So
There was also
honey.
a follow-up question in the chat that do you guys dream often?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, the more
Yes.
you attention to it, the more you remember your dreams, right? It's just.
Oh, that's what I was going to say to James. I think it's a muscle. You were saying about writing it down and how it helps you. I think it's a muscle. I think that when you activate and you work on the muscle of your dream world and remembering them, it's like working that muscle, working it out, and then that does help. I mean, and it's just like when you stop exercising and you blow up like a balloon. You know, it's because your body's used to a certain thing. So.
I know the story. So we all covered our dreams, did we? Yeah.
Did you tell? Oh yeah, you did tell goals. Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
This is just a little mundane, everyday question. No biggie. What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a big question at all.
No, just like what you're gonna eat for dinner type of questions. Because, you know, I think this is the question that everybody thinks for the majority of our life. Nobody ever answers it, but we all get, you know, our best guesses, our best theories. I see Anna is shuffling. She's hoping for help.
Oh, this one.
Those decks together.
Like all of my decks. Yeah.
Yeah, so once again with this teeny tiny question, I'm going to start and give you guys time. I'm going with the Two of Cups, especially in this deck in the Light Seers, because I've been wondering this question, you know, almost 39 years soon. And the older I get, the more I think about it. And that's the best answer that I have figured out for myself and for my life is just to love as much as I can and receive as much love as I can. And, you know, I don't know, that's my best guess.
Honey, I pulled this at the exact time that you pulled yours out. I randomly shuffled. This one came up for me.
And I love the version in the Robert M. Plays deck. I love that. So you want to talk about it also, Jim?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same idea of love, and I know we all love the Thoth and like those types of concepts where, you know, love and will, and basically that being like a core tenet in a lot of spiritual practices. But I guess when it boils down to it, hopefully in life, that's one of the better experiences, one of the more transformative human experiences. So I definitely agree. I think if there is a purpose or meaning to life, it would definitely be to love, I think.
So We are on the same track with James. So Manuela, Anna, you're ready. Lennan is still shuffling, muted. Thanks, Lennan.
Go ahead, Manuela.
Yeah, I picked 2 cards actually because I think it's a question that we can answer on different levels. One level would be the more philosophical level. Why are we here? What is like the purpose of our existence in the bigger picture, like as people here on this earth? And we can also shift level to the more personal level. What is my purpose here? What do I want to experience in my lifetime in order to gain that feeling of purposefulness with my personal individual existence? And for the personal level, I have chosen the 6 of Wands, which would be that card of kind of allocated in the realm of passion, and with the 6 as a balanced number that is not only dependent on the individual, but also to some part on the collective. And I see that card as an invitation to really look into our passions and choosing from those things that we want to experience, that we want to do and live. And in particular with the 6, I see it's not about like only me, but it's a victory that we can only achieve together with other people in society. But then in the bigger picture, I see the Temperance card as fit to describe how I see like the purpose of life in the bigger picture. That we are here in our physical form as an opportunity to make experiences that we cannot have on the abstract level. So we travel down here to experience something particular, and then we integrate our new experiences into that our collective kind of consciousness somehow, with the Temperance card as kind of taking it a step further with integration. Yeah.
What about Anna, Lennan? Ready to go?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Anna.
All right, so I shuffled my Triumphi and I got the 10 of discs or coins or pentacles, and that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your dream, honey, the meaning of life.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I love this. I love this because, I actually agree with Manuela. We can answer this question on, multiple levels. So I also chose a card, but the 10 of coins that came up is just the family card, isn't it? It's just where we come together and where we bring everything to the earthly realm because we are freaking human beings. And so, this is where we have to make it happen in this earthly realm, in this lifetime. And, so that energy of connection and making things, just spreading the happiness and the way that you feel rich, right, in your soul, kind of. So where you can also, I always like that you can make something bigger than yourself. So not looking at this as anything money or financial, but in the sense of just that love that we all have, or that soul that we all have, or that beautiful creative aspect that we can just share that and then feel connected like this big net. So that's really Malkut, all very earthly realm. And then the card that I chose, it's actually, I had it in my mind before I shuffled, is the Fool, because that's the other level. This is very airy and very detached. So these two together, it's pretty cool. I think we have this earth and the now and the present and the being with people, and the detached soul where you just have to with every answer you get 3 more questions. So that's just, I think, trying to find the right questions, I think, to keep being a seeker or an explorer, which also, Lennan, I don't know if you saw, but I did a VR to your Explorer outside because I loved it so much and it rang so true. So that is very the fool, jumping off the cliff or falling off the cliff, whatever. But it's just that moment of suspension before whatever happens. So,
And how exciting is that? It's like, that first jump when you parasail and you're on a cliff and you just got to trust. You got to trust, I think that butterfly excitement is what we all seem to be chasing in life. Now, for me, there's not so much an answer to the meaning of life, but in terms of a message of life, it would be to pay attention. That's my motto in life, is that if we were to all pay attention, we would find out so much about ourselves, about the people around us, about our neighbors, about other people, and that's how we're going to connect. And I like how right now we seem to be having a theme of that interconnectedness between others, because we're not on this earth by ourselves. We're on it with other people, and it's about the connections we make, and it's about that excitement we get when we're going to meet someone new, and it's about that excitement when we go somewhere we've never been. And it's that, like you said, almost the explorer, but in a more subdued. And I think that the human condition is to find the pleasure in things, anything. It's like, we don't want to go through the bad crap, but that's why I kind of consciously pulled the 6 of Cups, because in this card, this is what we all want, and for me, it's almost like, let's go to the pleasure. Yes. But then also pay attention, know that we have to go through the bad, know that the only certainty that we get in life as soon as we're born is death. And why then would we do anything that wouldn't eventually lead here? And so I think the message of life, yes. Salud. What is that, tomato juice, Anna?
I was like,
I love that stuff.
beer and tomato juice make an interesting Bloody Mary.
Maybe someone in the chat knows. I always forget that name, but there's actually a cocktail that mixes beer with tomato juice.
Ooh.
And I had it. Ooh. It's really not that bad, really. It's actually pretty good. But it
sounds something for the hangover mornings.
Oh yeah. There's a dog. Well,
yeah, put a raw egg in there and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all covered the meaning of life. No biggie. No biggie, guys.
We totally got it.
We're all in tune,
We're so wise. We totally know this.
Yeah, we've cracked it. So we have the first question here from the chat. So now, for once, I'm on the same level with you. I haven't had time to pick out my card, but Brooke was asking that if we could live in a different time and place, who would you be? It kind of leaps my question to Anna with the time machine thingy. And I love the question. But whoever's ready first can go if you have a good answer ready.
I do. I'm trying to find my card because
Go, Lennan, whenever you find the card, shoot. Because I need to be digging.
I've always wanted to be 2 things. I've always wanted to be a priestess in a temple, like in a stone temple of times of old, like Crete, Greece. And wearing nothing but like a piece of cloth, a boob hanging out, nobody cares because it's Greece or it's, olden times. And I'm eating grapes and I'm lighting the sacred fires. And that's the time that I go to a lot of times when I meditate, is that temple and that lighting of the fire and that almost that reverence that they had back in those times that we rarely see now. I mean, except when I'm seeing a YouTube video of like an altar tour, and that seems very personal too. Like when I see that, it's almost like I have a guilty feeling too. Like I'm seeing into their magic place, and that fills me with sometimes it fills me with dread. Like I'm seeing too much into their lives. But then on the flip side of that, I'm like, show me all your stuff, you know? Yeah. And so I feel that reverence sometimes, and it really gets me in touch with my witchcraft, my magic. When I can feel that, when I can light a candle and feel that sacred fire, and just imagine I'm that time, you know. But if I had to pick like a card for this, I immediately thought of the Queen of Wands from this deck. Like, look at her. Like, she looks like Marie Antoinette almost, with that ship on her head. And she's wearing this like can dress, because my parents always thought that that's what I would end up being, is one of those can dancers, you know, like in Vegas. They always thought that of me, and never happened. But if I think that too, like I would have this sacred, sensual, divine, feminine presence about myself, like almost like this catwalk type of a personality, like where I'm on a catwalk and I'm dressed to the nines and I've got these jewels and, you know, whatever. So that's another part of me too, that other people in my family that have known me since birth have said about me. But I guess if I had to choose, it would be more subdued than that. It wouldn't be so out loud. It would be more, you know, sacred priestess. And I'm silent. Like I'm only going to say like one word answers, you know, and I'm just like flow this like chiffon dress that I'm wearing. That's it.
And the boob hanging out.
People have placed that outwardness on me, but then I want to be a little bit more subdued. So I don't know.
So who's ready? Nobody.
Ready? Okay, I'm ready.
Go, Anna.
Well, I mean, it's very similar to what you asked me, right? And I love that question, honey, about, you know, time machine and place and all that. I think someone at the time came up with a wonderful answer that I would also love, but just the first answer that I can think of is just like music is a big love of mine, and I would just love to be able to see the bands that I enjoyed so much, trying to just be, you know, that hippie woman. I don't know, hippie rock and roll, and yeah, I don't know, just to be part of that era. I think of, you know, the 60s moving into the 70s. That yes, we're shitty in different ways, but had this. You know, like from like mid 50s, I guess we had this beginning of youth culture, and then that's where it all just exploded, and it, I don't know, I just get really tingly thinking about that, and how sad it is, but it's golden age thinking, how sad it is that we don't have that now. You know, it's like everything's already kind of done, and you have to really push hard to do your own thing and be inspired by all of that cool creative stuff. But it's definitely, I'd say, you know, like 60s, and then being young and very free spirited, and just to be with this whole group of people who is just kind of like carrying that generation, I guess. So yeah, it's all nostalgia of things that I have never known, but well, maybe still get a little bit out of the music taste that I have. But yeah, that's it.
See, I think when I hear you say that, is that in meditating, I would go there. I would be part of the crowd at Woodstock. If that's something that you really need to like empower yourself with, then if next time you meditate, just be in the crowd. Like you were there. You got a like smoothie or something. You got flowers in your hair and you are there and you're rocking out. Like that's where I would go on the astral, you know, like it's there. Tap in, you know. Jimi Hendrix is still playing the guitar over there. Listen to him, you know.
Yeah, he's gonna do the star sprinkled banner, and then that smoothie, I guess, is like spiked with something. It's gonna be a fun ride. Yeah.
A mushroom smoothie, maybe.
Yeah. You drop
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Cannabis in the air, you know.
Well, that's plenty of that in Amsterdam, so yeah.
Could you put that in a tarot card? Did you pick a card?
I didn't pick a card.
What would it be out of your head?
Empress, maybe? Maybe Empress, actually. Also,
From
with
the Triomphe Empress.
no, she's kind of strict in the Triomphe. She's like smoking a cigar, but I don't think it's anything special.
So you don't think? Okay.
It doesn't have to be a cigar.
What? Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a cigar. You know, it can be a little bit different depending
Yeah,
on her setting.
A blunt in that extension like, to make it fancy. Yeah. No.
Like the ultimate flower child with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know, Empress, but also kind of like that idea of what I was saying. Like, I honestly don't love to see the Empress pregnant, but that is just part of the symbolism that comes with the Empress sometimes. So maybe it is a little bit of that, thinking of the next generation thing, maybe. Like, you are it, but also you are trying to make it at the same time. Yeah, you're mixing it and living it at the same time.
And somebody definitely got pregnant in Woodstock.
And while they were wearing these types of dresses. So, yeah. No, I also shuffled my deck. I got the 5 of coins. The only thing I could make of this is like doing your own thing and being free from earthly possessions, but that's just a hippie ideal that that failed, you could say.
Yeah, literally when looking at the thought, it's worry, right? So it's like no worries. It's like Hakuna Matata. No.
Yeah.
So what about James?
Ooh,
where would you live? What would you do?
I pulled the 3 of coins. And for me, I think I would want to live. Lennan's also inspired me a bit. I'm thinking like maybe like BC, when there was like the Roman Empire, and before we kind of went into a dark ages where they kind of had like a lot of modern, I guess, equivalents in their society. Like they had a form of plumbing and like irrigation, and like they were pretty with it in a fun way. And I would want to be more of like a scholar, but more of like, you know, like studying around like Pythagoras, or somebody who like is kind of taking concepts, but it's more magical or esoteric and metaphorical, and then maybe just studying I don't know, in those times where you would actually go to like a school for that and really spend and dedicate your life to that pursuit. So I think that's what I would choose to do.
Well, come see me at the temple. I'll be there.
Yeah. We can collaborate ideas.
I can see you running and getting scrolls out of the Library of Alexandria.
Ooh.
I can see you there.
You can be the Oracle of Delphi, and like the fumes come in.
Come see the fumes.
Yes.
I was just gonna say for the chat, Julia, we're not doing tarot readings right now. So if you want to stick around for what we do have going on. All right.
So what about Manuela?
Yeah, I was thinking about somewhere in England, perhaps Victorian England, and I don't know really a lot about that era, but somehow it appeals to me, and it might be in the city or it might be on the countryside, a bit like, yeah, that whole rural kind of flair, or that whole flair of that era. And I would like to live in a family without any monetary restrictions, and I would really love to be that eternal youth, teenager, and researcher who's growing up in between all those ideas and can, inquisitive kind of questions and ideas, and write papers and theorize and play music, and kind of being in that realm of ideas quite undisturbed, and sharing you discover it at the dinner table.
It's so
I
you.
love that.
How cool is that we can see everybody in the places that they would go to. Did you go? No. Did you go?
Now it's my turn to go.
Okay.
Because I don't have a deck that says the pharaoh. I'd be in Egypt. I'd be a pharaoh. I'd have, what's that?
Telescope?
Yeah, I made one of those, and I'd be checking out Lennan's boobs in Greece. No, absolutely. I would be a pharaoh, but also a magician or a high priest, and I would be, changing secrets and the mysteries with Lennan from continent to continent. I'd be.
We have our own special ship.
Yeah.
That travels back and forth.
Yeah.
I send you olive oil. You send me some pottery or something.
Yeah.
It's our old trade system, and then I like whisper the secrets into a bee's ear, and then send the bee in a jar over to you.
Yeah. That's where I would be.
I can see it.
That was the first time when I got to answer a random question. And just for everybody in the chat, no, we are not doing any live readings here. We are just answering random fun questions between us all. Just picking each other's brain. Just vibing.
Honey, can I pose a question?
Absolutely, darling. Go ahead.
Yay. I was thinking of maybe we could each select a card for our big three in astrology. So like your sun, your moon, and your rising, and then explain, how does that describe how you feel about that part of your chart or yourself? You know what I mean?
You can start whenever you're ready, James. I need to be digging out.
Sorry, no.
It
sounded like a simple question, and then I'm like, wait, that's three cards. And...
Well, that's good.
I have to look mine up. I keep forgetting what my chart is. Is that terrible?
No, you can tell whatever you remember. There's no biggie.
I remember, Anna, you're an Aries rising and a Taurus moon.
Seriously?
And Libra sun, so no excuses.
Anna, that's why we have a secretary who remembers everything. That's why we have Manuela.
I'm Aries rising? Seriously?
She has all of our birth charts on file.
But not in a creepy way.
Nothing creepy, but I have it right here.
You can't find shit in that.
Here, I can give an example of what I was thinking. I know that the question maybe wasn't the clearest. So I picked the Fool for my Gemini rising because I think that's where the more fun, go lucky, happy spirit is, where I kind of am able to communicate more. And so I was like, the Fool fits. And that's kind of like my gateway into a lot of things in life where I'm willing to take the risk. And I feel like I can attribute it to that rising sign that's more, free-spirited. And then I chose the Devil for my sun sign, Sagittarius, because I think it's where I get into a bit of trouble in life and kind of gets me into some situations that I have to work myself out of. So I would say Sagittarius is definitely the tricky, the one that kind of needs to be babysat by maybe the other signs. So Devil for that for sure. And then for my moon, which is Libra, I think this is like my saving grace. If I didn't have this, things would be a lot more chaotic. So Temperance it is. She's in the background, just kind of managing Sagittarius like a child, and letting Gemini have their moment out front and center. So that's the crew. This is the big three crew.
That's cool. Anybody else ready?
Almost.
I'm ready, so I can start. I'm a Scorpio sun, so I'm drowning in the deep waters. I think in this deck, the moon card is perfect for this. So always going deep, always wondering weird shit. My Scorpio side. I'm a Taurus rising. So the King of Pentacles, the hedonistic, loves to enjoy everything. Not a minimalist like Lennan. Just, loving to eat, drink, buy, spend. My Taurus rising. And for some reason, my Libra moon, I got the Knight of Cups.
Ooh.
Because, as a Scorpio, I'm finding these weird, fears and pretty. If we think about it, the Scorpio is easy to put on the fears, but the pretty, I guess it comes from my Libra moon. So that's my big three.
Libra moon sister, I love that.
So Lennon, were you ready?
I guess so. So I'm an Aquarius sun, and I do really resonate with the star for the Aquarius, but I guess in reality, being an Aquarius feels like this. It just feels like we're kind of unique, but we're kind of wishy-washy too. So that's really what Aquarius feels like. It doesn't feel as it doesn't always feel as beautiful as a star card, but I've always resonated with the star card for my sun sign. And then my moon sign is Pisces. Now with Pisces being the dreamer already in the moon, it's like I'm a daydreamer from hell. So I picked the Seven of Cups because this is always what I feel like when I tap into. Like when I think about my moon being in Pisces, I think about this. I think about not so much the not being able to make a decision aspect of it, but more so the dreamer aspect of it. Like I could be in the middle of doing something that I really, really want to do, but then I'll be thinking and dreaming of doing something else. And I'm always kind of like two of Pentacles with it. So I should have picked that card out, but I didn't. And then my rising is Leo. And there's no other card that makes me think of that than the Lust. So for me, it's being a Leo rising instead of a Leo in my sun or moon, and no other, I don't know how it works, but there's like no other that type of a sign in my chart. It feels very like I'm a blasting type of a energy with my rising, and it's more so like a lighter fire. Like when you have to click me and then I'm bam. But otherwise, my sun and moon kind of take over, and it's rare that my rising, I think comes out. But when it does, it feels like this. It feels like I'm coming right at you on the beast. So
I can even see it in the hair. I should have known that you were a Leo rising. You have like a mane of hair. It's like your luscious hair.
I never thought of it as
amazing.
A mane. If I straightened it, it would be this long. If I straightened it, it would be past my butt. So yeah, I got thick mane. I'm gonna call it that from now on.
Forever. So what about Manuela? Your big three.
Yeah, I chose the cards that portray me in a very beneficial way, like in a very positive light. So
as we all did.
Yeah. So I'm a Pisces sun, and I chose the High Priestess for the Pisces sun, that searching inwards, kind of digging deeper inside myself and into the mysteries of life. For my Gemini moon, I chose the Magician. It's that kind of, I think you call it fidgety, like when you're like, oh, like doing all those things with your hands at the same time, and you have all those projects going, and you never stop talking, and you really want to make it happen, but not all the times the magician is as powerful as he seems to be. So, but there is that energy. and that airy energy to that sign, of course, and the card. And I'm a Scorpio rising, and here I chose the Emperor card as my last hope to get me back on track somehow, bringing some structure and determination, and also being able to set some boundaries around my fluttery tendencies with the Pisces and the Gemini combined. Yeah. And I mean, there are downsides as well. I mean, I'll just tell you the nice things now. Like,
that's the perfect way to roll, Manuela. That's the perfect
yeah.
way. Okay, Anna, your big three.
Okay, so this is a question I don't know. Also, I had to do some stuff like deep talk, but I guess for how I feel about it, because I don't know, right? The Libra sun sign is, to me, it just feels at home. I don't even know anything else but to say it's the Queen of Coins for me. It's just where I am. It's just where I'm totally comfortable, right? The moon sign is Taurus. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me. And then, well, I just heard for probably the 5th time that I am Aries rising, right? So I'm thinking there with how I feel about it, what I know of it, it's probably finally that rebel archetype maybe coming through a little bit and doing my thing, because this is an energy that I need to get comfortable with. So that's like one of the huge overarching themes in my life. And yeah, trying to do that. But I have no idea how to interpret the moon sign Taurus. So
see, I would have put the Queen of Pentacles on Taurus, because the Taurus to me is all about comfort and being, liking the comforts of home, and liking like comfort blankets, and being very structured, like liking what they like and when they like it, and they're going to do it no matter what. And I don't know really what that has to do with the moon sign. Maybe that's like your inward projection is that you like the comfort. But that's like literally all I know about Taurus.
Yeah, no, it's just because Libra is so airy, but
Yeah.
it's still about finding the balance, and then the truth, and then it is very much like, I know, for instance, that I have trouble making the small decisions, but then the bigger things in life, I just know. So I think that's just in being comfortable. Well, the choices in my life, I mean, right? I don't know the meaning of life. No, but it would be the Queen of Pentacles in how I feel about it. But I don't really know. I don't know. Yeah.
I like that.
Taurus. What is it? What is a particular Taurus? Because like I know Taurus.
This is a particular Taurus.
But
enjoying life, drinking their wine, eating,
wow.
buying shitloads of stuff.
Don't piss them off. They got horns.
Well, then it shouldn't be the Hierophant card. It should be the Bacchus card. That's the same card, but different archetypes. So.
Or maybe like a Taurus moon is like the inner self, so like we're at least a little bit deeper, so maybe it's about the amount of time you'll put with like an emotion, or the way that you might stay and remain in one space for an extended period of time, like more emotionally speaking, or like processing maybe is more methodical.
I mean, Taurus in the moon also feels very grounding, like a very grounding energy, that you're not rushing on every emotion, but that you take your time on the emotional level and move on quite in small steps, slow pace, but that commitment really also leads into a commitment that you stand for.
Maybe that's why I kind of feel I didn't pick a card for the Taurus moon, but Maybe that's why I kind of feel it's interchangeable, like my moon and the sun sign. It's not interchangeable, but like how it makes me feel, because yeah, of what you said, like the Taurus is supposed to be very grounding, very you know what you want, and that's very much on the forefront. And then like the air of the Libra is maybe more of a, I don't know, in the back of the head kind of thing. So maybe that's the moon again. Cough, right? Back of the head. So
Well, it's like you're tethered to the ground with your Taurus being your moon. I feel like you've got a lot of air from your Libra, and you like the balance and the justice of the Libra, but then you have it, but you're not floating, and you're not like floating in air or on top of water, like, someone with like me with water and air in their chart, but you've got this constant tether to the ground. And when you lose your way, or when you think you're losing your way, it's about finding that tether again. And like maybe you need that tether, and to follow that silver thread back down to the ground to give you a little kick in the pants when you need that extra grounding. That's what I'm visualizing here, is like this hot air balloon tethered to the ground.
yeah.
Meg says that your Seven of Wands was a good pick for an Aries rising.
Yeah. That's been I really recognize that one. And the other ones, maybe once I get to know a little bit more, like what it's supposed to mean, like the Libra sun I get, but like the moon sign and all that stuff. So then maybe it will switch again, like Queen of Pentacles will be Taurus, and then I don't know, like Justice, of course, but Michelle.
I need to take an astrology 101 class.
Yeah.
That shit is hard. It ain't the easiest.
Yeah.
So we all got answers to James's question. Yeah.
Thank you.
And let's jump to the next one then. And what are you afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
So start digging, and I'll start again. One of my questions.
Everybody shuffle this. Oh.
I'm going with the Eight of Swords in the Light Seers. For me, I've tried to analyze it a lot. But most of all, because I could say that I'm scared of flying in an airplane. But also, I drive a motorcycle, but I'm afraid of sitting behind somebody on a motorcycle. And I'd rather drive the car than sit in the back seat. So what I've analyzed is that I'm afraid of not having the control. But I also really don't like spiders crawling on me. But I don't have any decks with spiders because I hate them so much. I've seen decks with spiders, but I'd never buy one of them again. I had one, but I sold it because I don't like spiders. But I think I'm afraid of losing the control.
I like the card you picked too.
Sorry, James, what'd you say?
Oh, I was like, I love the card that you picked for it because like it's bound up and stuff. And at first I was like, where is she gonna go with this? But it made like perfect sense. And I'm like, oh, I would have never even thought about that card in that context. So it was like a very interesting. I picked the Tower, more in the ego sense, I think. I guess I would say I'm scared of, the best way I would put it is not existing. So not really death, but the fact or the idea that my consciousness or some like sentient aspect of me would not continue, and that there's like a finite end where just I cease to be. And to me, it makes the idea of that makes life feel more meaningless, and it also makes me feel a lot of pressure put on my like lived experience. But really, I guess like the dissolving of the ego, the non-existence of some form of like consciousness, to me is scary, the most scary.
Okay, so who's ready next?
I'm curious about James's card and the fear behind. How does that fear surface in your everyday life?
Ooh. I guess it would probably also manifest through more of like spiritual pursuits, looking for answers to hopefully feel some sense of like confidence or get a definitive answer as to like, is there something after? So I think it fuels my desire to seek out answers from a place actually sometimes rooted in fear, which can be more of like a compulsive seeking or not a healthy manner of like going about trying to obtain answers and knowledge. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of finding that kind of gateway into settling down on a different level somehow.
Honey, would you say that for your card and your fear, how would that, I guess, impact your decision making in life? Do you find that you make decisions from a place to like optimize your freedom or control, or no?
No, I just always try to find the best way of going through that thing. Like for example, flying, because I travel a lot. I love to go to places. So then I just need to figure out a way to sit on that, because I'm not afraid of dying. If the, you know, like I drive a motorcycle, that's far more dangerous than flying. But I'm not in control. And the moment when the plane drops, you get to realize it. If you crash with a motorcycle, it's fast. But I just tend to go through and find my way through. And with the spiders, I'll just scream for the hubby or my daughter, and they come and pick them out. That's one way. So who's next?
Meg is saying, I understand this, James. I refer to it as an intellectual flight for myself.
Ooh.
A Sagittarius.
Okay, well, maybe it's a Sagittarius thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked a card. Sorry, I don't know. I just went for it. Very obvious one. So there you go. No, it's the wisest thing. I think that fear is not wise. Fear is very stupid, or can be stupid, when it's not just a survival mechanism. The wisest thing to fear is fear itself, right? So I really see that here in the Nine of Swords. It's just, I have to be honest, I am much more afraid of people who are afraid of something as a collective than the thing they are afraid of, usually. Mm-hmm. Because that is just, it brainwashes, blinds, all of that. Numbs you from all the other senses. So that's what I see here. Then I also shuffled the other deck, and I got 5 of Wands. And there I'm just most of all seeing, obviously it's a fire element, because I also have that control issue that Honey was saying. I'm thinking this is much more of that fear of never fitting in and always having to fight for your spot, or having that feeling at least. Like, I enjoy being an outcast or whatever, but I still want to be with the people who are that. So I'm thinking, yeah, just that continuous struggle and fear of I have to perform and do stuff and prove myself all the time. I think that's exhausting, and wish it wasn't. I wish for a place where it feels like that, because that's a place inside of me, of course. But I also wish for a place that it's true for everyone. So where we just are aligned. So there.
That was deep. The collective fear, being afraid of the people more than their. Whoa, that blew my mind. I was like, hadn't. That's very cool. Very interesting, I should say. Not cool. It's your fear, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Just
see,
something that surfaced.
I picked the Nine of Swords too,
Yeah.
but for a different reason. I picked it more so that I have this fear of, kind of like James said, but it's more so like amnesia, like dementia, that I just feel like, because I'm such an internal person, because I'm a thinker, because I'm a researcher, because I write stuff down and I love to do that, the fact of not knowing who my kids are, or not knowing who the people that I love most are, or not remembering something really, really great that happened to me, getting into these episodes of forgetfulness, even through old age or a disease, terrifies me. I hate that. I hate the concept. I hate that that's even a thing. I hate that it reminds me of an anthill and all the ants are burrowing through your brain, and you lose and you can't help what you lose. And I think that that's a fear of mine. And I picked the Nine of Swords to represent that. But I also think that there's a little Three of Swords in that. There's it doesn't pierce you in the heart when you forget something that you don't know you've forgotten, but because you don't know you've forgotten it. But it's, to me, I think that this represents more of those shattering moments, the ones that on the other side of the coin, you're like, I'm glad that I don't remember those things because they're just shattering. And it's almost like a repression. So I feel like these go hand in hand in terms of fear for me. Like sure, I want to be able not to remember the things that, like the bad things that shattered me in the heart. I don't want to remember those, but then I look at this card and I think I have to take it. I have to tell myself that I have to be willing to remember the things that shattered me, because if I got into that where I wouldn't remember anything, then I could lose all the good too. And so that's just filling me with so much fear, that this concept of losing your memory, and I guess even further losing your mind, even though I don't like that terminology. And then this flew out of the deck when I was shuffling, and I like to think of this as a comfort card, like when I start to see signs of this, even like I said, if it was through old age or whatever, don't try to hold on so severely, but there's someone with you. There may be someone with you. There may be someone that's willing to help you. And that's the meaning. That's what you need to get to. And I think that goes back to the meaning of life, this connectedness, is that as long as you have that, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So.
Yeah, I continue on the Five of Pentacles. That's the card I picked. And I guess I attach quite some value to having a job and having a stable income. And I have gotten used to that situation. It's very difficult to get rid of employees in Sweden. So as long as I stay where I am and don't move, I will be pretty secure. And yeah, sometimes I play with the idea to do something else, but then I always fall back on that kind of Five of Pentacles scary scenario of leaving a spot and somebody else will take it, and then my income will go to someone else and I will not be able to go back to that kind of identity that I have right now in my current work. That it will be much harder to earn the money I currently earn. So yeah, in terms of being afraid of death or things like that. Perhaps it's my Pisces nature. I'm not very afraid of any, like, of dying. It feels like, okay, yeah, I'll just leave and things will be fine. And I'm not here anymore. So, but it's that practical fear of making a practical existence happen. And the identity is attached to that.
I like that seemingly none of us have this death fear. It's more so fear of what we're doing in our life on Earth, on this realm, on this plane of existence. Like you were saying, like almost being a Pisces, it's not like the end isn't what's bothering me. It's the now. It's the it's the crap I'm going through now that's bothering me. Like I'm scared about tomorrow, not when I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the limited time we have, and death is unlimited. So
Right.
Yeah, tackling all these, easy small questions in the world. But now let's switch to something more positive with the next question. And just don't overthink this one. Just try to get the first intuitive hit. Let's not make too deep out of this. What makes you happy every day? And I'm going to start so you guys get time to dig out your cards. And I seem to have the only deck with the Fool card without the dog. Because my answer is my dog. But this is a Fool card and it should have a dog. But my dog, she always waits for me at my door. She's never not happy with me. She always loves me. So I've never been mad to my dog. And she always just makes me happy. Because sometimes I can be mad to the hubby and mad to my daughter. But the dog, she always makes me happy. Even in the Fool card without the dog. But whenever you guys are ready, just keep them coming.
I love that. Dogs are the best thing ever.
But I just... What did you say, Anna?
I was asking if anyone else was ready.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, me, it's just such a cliche thing, but of course I went with the happy archetype, so that will be the sun. Because you said don't overthink it, first card.
What?
Then the second one, to be honest, was the Eight of Pentacles. In my that came to mind, and that's interesting because the way that I would have interpreted the sun anyway would be because I get a new chance every day to do my own thing and make things my own way and approach it in my own mindset and idea, and just that there's never this defining moment of, well, there used to be maybe, but there's never this defining moment of, okay, this is what I am now. I don't really like that idea. I prefer to have just these chances every moment, and just to think something else and to do something else and maybe be something else. So yeah, I'm just trying things out, I guess. Wait, here we are. Trying things out, I guess. And this is, the typical work card, I think, the Eight of Pentacles, but it's also just not about perfection in my idea. He's trying to make his pentacle perfect, but I think it's just about making it a little bit better every time, and better in the sense that it's just better in that moment for me. Yeah, I think that's it. And just the growing aspect of it.
Okay. Well, on an everyday basis, I feel like this. This is me. A mom. I do the housework. I plan bills, paying bills, doing like a very home life type of a thing on an everyday basis. And it's the little things. I think that's what she's looking out for. Like, yeah, she's in her power and she's sitting on her throne and she's holding her pentacle, but she's looking out into the field. And I think what she's looking at is her little pentacle babies out on tractors or out in the fields working, or she's looking out in her family and what they're doing. And I think that she's looking out over that. And I feel like that every day. And so little things my kids say, or something funny that my husband, a joke that he told, like those are the little moments that make me happy on an everyday basis. I feel like I also feel the Three of Pentacles, like this sense of work. Yes, but it's happy work. Like we're building something beautiful. We're building this family life. We have goals as a whole family. We have places we want to see and places we want to travel and things that we want to do in our own town and with our own, family. Like there's familial goals and ties that are with us every day, like this, even this is beautiful. This isn't every day. So it's something to look forward to. And on an everyday basis, though, I feel these two cards the most. I feel like I'm the Queen of Pentacles and my whole entire family on an everyday basis, we're just doing the work. We're just doing the work to be here and survive and try to be as happy as we can be with the ruts that we may get into, or the because it can be, it can feel it doesn't feel very good to like do the same thing every day, 5 o'clock on the dot, dinner, you got to cook dinner. It's like sometimes you do get into those like, oh, not again. But you got to find the little things that make you happy. And I think for me, it's finding those little family moments that I can look back on an everyday sense. So.
Cool. So who's next?
I follow suit after Lennan because I picked the Queen of Pentacles as well. Mm-hmm. Is also a bit of the depiction of that card with that witchy cauldron and that crazy witch steering her cauldron. And on an everyday basis, like I don't do that every day, but if I did it every day, it would make me happy every time. It is like, lighting that charcoal piece and putting like a lot of incense on top of it. My husband jokingly says, "Oh well, you're in the bar in Amsterdam again," because those herbs they smoke like pot. But yeah, that really makes me happy. But actually, also a bit similar to what Lennan just said. It is that homely existence, and I guess I enjoy that more than I would admit. Because I always say, well, I'm not that family person and I'm not that born mom and everything. But actually, when I'm cooking together with my son, now he's able to cut like onions, and he's obsessed with cutting onions. It really feels like a treat when life moves into those, doing those practical things together. And not only looking after a child, but actually the child doing something as well. So if I'm really honest, I believe, I actually enjoy all those small things of family life as well.
Nice.
That's so sweet. Oh, and Anna, your dog. Oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah, she's tired. She wants to cuddle, but she's very big.
And I love how it fits with the comments in the chat. There's a lot of talking about the dogs and the pets. They're making people happy. So it's amazing.
I think
actually the dog, Anna's dog always looks very small, but I recently saw Anna's dog on Instagram and realized that it's like quite a big dog. It's not like a lap dog.
Yeah, I mean, she thinks she's a lap dog for sure, but she's actually smaller than you would think with her breed. Like American Shepherds, they can be like these big ones, but she's very kind of like. Anyway. James was going to tell us what makes you happy, right?
Oh yeah, so a lot of these I've been like shuffling randomly and then trying to like find something in the card that fits or can like give me the answer, I guess. So I pulled one at first. I was kind of confused. I got the Nine of Wands, and it's not the happiest looking card, but my thought here, and I guess after hearing all of yours, now mine seems, I guess, a little selfish, but I guess what makes me happy every day is, in a way, myself, or because I guess I have to choose to be happy, or to me, it seems like sometimes you find yourself in the midst of happiness, but I would say if you're going to feel happy each day consistently, to me, it feels like a choice, at least, or something that I have to choose for myself. So, in that way, it is, I guess, a little bit selfish, but it's, yeah, I guess it's work. It's harder work. So the thing that I makes me happy each day, I would say, is myself, but also just I guess my relationship with myself, and that's something, you know, we all work on throughout our lives. But I guess I feel pretty good with what I've accomplished for my relationship with myself, the way I kind of think and talk to myself, and what that's become. And so I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to feel like I'm relying upon other things for a lot of different things, including happiness. So I'm not sure if that's the most healthy way to even approach it, but ultimately, I guess my mindset was that I'm happy with myself. So the thing that makes me happy each day, reliably, consistently, would be myself.
Mm-hmm.
I
Great.
think there's. Is there an echo?
Yeah, we're
For some-
getting echo now.
Yeah, I don't know why, but James, there's a lot of truth in that one. You know, about finding the happiness in oneself first, because you know, when you rely on someone else to do it, then you're relying in it. You know, that's that guy's lost, and all is tied to something external. It'll never work. So I think there's a lot of beauty in that. But you know, guys, we have 15 more minutes to go. I still have shitloads of weird questions on my paper. But if any one of you would have a question, Lennan and Manuela, you haven't asked. James had already one in. So what about you, ladies? Do you want to use this one last question? If not, we can still choose from my list.
I don't have a question. I did want to mention that I pulled this out for James. It's a Sag card, James. This is about endurance to me. This is about perseverance. So maybe what makes you happy is keep on trucking. You're like the little engine that could. That's what makes you happy, is just to keep going.
Well, what just made me happy now, my sister brought me a donut. So there you go. Maybe I should have picked a more selfless happiness card, because the universe just showed me, you know, there's other reasons and people involved in my happiness that are wonderful. So yeah.
And how she struck that to you just now. She was like, wait a minute, you selfish ass.
Imagine.
Let me bring you a donut. No, let me bring you a donut. You're not alone in this life, you know?
Yeah, here's some sprinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, by the way, that Astrid and maybe other people as well are doing this for themselves at home.
Yeah.
Saying Marielle is
She's
showing
a-
the Three of Cups, and it's so true.
Yeah.
So that's so cool.
I don't have the chat pulled up.
So what about Anna, Manuela? Do you want to use the slot for the last question? Anything coming out?
I really don't know.
Okay.
Well, I have one of those. You can choose if you think it's a fun one to answer, but like a party trick, something that we can use when we are on a party and want to attract some attention and show off some particular skills. But
Just don't make us dance, Manuela. Whatever.
no,
Don't
not
make
showing the party trick, explaining about the party trick and getting a card for it. But it's we can pick one of your questions. You have put so much effort into
No,
it.
go ahead. Let's just make it weird.
Okay, making it weird. A party trick. Okay, wow. I made it really difficult for myself choosing a question I don't have an answer to.
You can go last then.
Okay, a party trick. Well, actually, my party trick, usually it is the Kate Bush thing. So I can sing in that high-pitched voice, like Wuthering Heights, and doing that kind of Kate Bush dancing. So you don't have to dance. I can only dance myself. And I think it's like a really nice party trick. And actually, once I did babushka for the people, and it's a little bit less well-dressed, but of course I didn't undress completely. But I thought that was a quite convenient and very... interesting party trick to perform. So let's see what kind of card I can apply to that. So I think it's the Fool card actually, because it's really a bit out there. I will show you the Fool card. Here is the very beautiful fool from, like, it's like a fool without a head, and the cat is supposed to point the way. So the head has just dropped to the floor. That's my party trick, Kate Bush.
Okay, so what's the question?
What
is our party trick?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that just like to make a party better, or?
Thoughts exactly.
Anything, like when we get the spotlight in the party, what do we do in order to fill that space with something fun? And it could be like this, anything like I'm always talking about my parents' weird habits, something like that. So
Okay, I can go next. I would. My favorite question is the question I asked you guys already in a group. If I need to have one question, it's about the song that they would choose for the movie of their life. But then, when I want to make it weird, I'll just show people my mad skills of crossing all my fingers. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So Anna, just if you want to make the party work, you can do this.
Extra metal.
Yeah.
No, I could see you being a DJ at a party. That'd be your thing.
I've been a DJ many times.
You know?
Yeah, not with vinyls though. Yeah, well.
And your
Well,
fashion,
fashion
you could tell us all about what we're wearing. I know you have a good history in fashion, Hanny, so that could be a party trick as well. Breaking down someone's style.
And see, that's my party trick.
You think that would be a party trick?
I picked the Empress because my party trick is dressing up. I love to dress up. When I go to a party, even if it's not a dress-up party, I'm dressing up. I'm wearing some weird wig. I'm wearing some weird makeup. You know, I show up and they're like, "Hey, Lennan," and then go about their business. It's like they already know. So I picked the Empress for my party trick because I dress up. But then I love to plan parties like that. Murder mystery parties, dress-up parties, you know, parties that have a theme. Like, I'm super good at it, and I love to do it. This particular card shows me, like, planning a party. Like, I'm like, I've got scavenger hunts for all the people to, like, go find something in the rooms. But I guess overall, like, this would be the card. Like, the party, I'm more of the party planner. That's, like, where my love lies. But in terms of, like, my niche, it would be dressing up. So being the loud, blue-haired, eccentric one of the party would be like, my go-to thing.
Yeah.
Guys, do you want to do a special party trick with me now?
Sure.
I'll put a little Spock hello because it seems we have a special guest in the chat. Seems my silly little big brother is there. Hi, bro. Thanks for joining. He's at my channel for the first time in a live. So, hi, bro. Making it weird. Family time.
So what's up with this?
These tricky?
No, he just put it in the chat, so I just thought I would say hello.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's
Okay.
also a party trick, being able to speak Finnish fluently.
True that. True that.
He's doing it again.
Yeah. And I don't have emojis on my laptop, so I couldn't, write that in. So now we all showed weird hand marks all the way to Switzerland because he's there.
Moi Irma Tele.
You should be reading that, Manuela. That shit is bullshit. He's putting out his party trick with a stupid question. But we seem to have people also from Portugal. Hi, Andre. So, who's next? Who's got a party trick? Anna, did you go?
It's a very difficult one. I don't know. I'm always surrounded, well, most of the time surrounded by people who put on great music. So, it's only after a few hours where I'm like, can I ask for a song? And then we talk about that. But usually I'm okay with what they're playing. I don't know if it's a party trick. I don't have any party tricks. I think it's just I contemplated the Three of Cups, like just get people drinks and then we'll talk. But then I'm thinking, maybe I'm a little bit of a. It's probably just a swords thing. I don't really know why it's the Seven of Swords now.
Are you stealing things from people's houses when you go to the parties?
Is that what you see in this?
It's like you're going through the ladies' jewelry box in the back room.
Where did all the silverware go?
This is a mirror to you then. I didn't say anything about that. No, I'm thinking like maybe having just these good conversations. They can be about whatever, and it all will just kind of interest me. So I'm okay with that. Some people are kind of like trying to blow you off with topics that they hope you don't find interesting or stuff like that. And I'm always like, I'm not for anything, so let's just talk about it. And that maybe is a little bit of that trickster energy and also maybe devil's advocate to get into good conversations at parties while still having that chaos, fun energy around. So maybe that's kind of, I think, why I picked the Seven of Swords. I won't be going through any.
So your party trick is a party trick, though. You're the conversationalist, willing to talk about anything.
Well,
maybe you have a career in swallowing swords also. I said maybe you have a career in the future of swallowing swords at parties.
I am thinking of a dirty joke, but I won't make it.
like dozen of them.
Because we're alive. Otherwise,
but I'm also wondering, in which party did Lennan steal those pearls from? In her wig?
These actually aren't pearls. This is my mala.
It's a mala. It looked like pearls because it's only white.
Moonstone. This is moonstone, and then this is the bottom half is labradorite.
It's beautiful.
So, love it.
But I was seeing you in that Seven of Swords in your Marilyn Monroe look, stealing people's pearls in a party.
I wouldn't do that now, but but when I was a girl, well, it's not so much that I would steal stuff. It was more so that I would be at, like I'd be at my grandmother's or my and we would have this like Christmas Eve party. And I'd be back and I'd be like using her makeup and wearing all of her jewelry. And then someone would have to like come find me in her closet and be like, Lennan, what are you doing in here? And it's like, come back to the party, And I'd be like, can I just finish my lipstick? So it's more so like I'm not stealing it. It's more, I'm like, I'm actually using it. I'm using someone else's stuff. And I'm like hiding out in the closet, trying to find a pair of high heels that fit me. So.
That's the best party trick.
Yeah. Someone also said, that also crossed my mind, like sneaking away from the party to be by yourself. Like, that's just the joke, right? When there's a Halloween party, I'll show up as a ghost. It's like I'm not there.
James, did you tell the party trick? No.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Oh, I can do actually one interesting sort of thing. So wait, how do I put my arm? Basically, you put your arm like this, like flat, and you stack. I have like messy fingers from my donut. You stack like coins as high as you can, like this, and then you flick your arm down really fast, and you try to catch them all and keep them in a pile without any of them hitting the ground. And I can do like over 20. I can do like almost 30, and it starts to become like almost too difficult to even hold in your hand. But I can balance it on my arm and then flick my arm down and catch them all on the other side without any of them falling.
This makes me think of your first card, the hanged man dropping the coins from the pockets.
Oh yeah, it came full circle. Look at that. I didn't even think about that.
Wow. See, I thought of the 8 of coins when I heard you talking. Like this sense of like, you know, you've really got to concentrate, you know. So it's more of a, you know, you're not going to be talking while it's just going to be like, everybody hush. There's a hush in the crowd. You know, you're like that old timey magician that's doing all the cup tricks.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I want to hush. I want everyone to shut up. And then you're like, kapow. And then you're like, okay, everybody hand me $20 because nobody
we all need to have a party where we show up and perform our party trick.
Yeah, and Lennan is stealing borrowing everybody's shit.
But we forgive her because she will organize the party to be perfect.
But think about it. Manuela is in the center of the room singing.
It's a musical performance for the night.
Lennan is at the closet, borrowing people's stuff, putting the coins, and I'm just standing.
And Anna's talking to herself, finding interesting topics for conversation.
Yeah. She's like not really the bartender, but she's like standing right at the bar. You know, she's like watching, making sure everyone gets a drink, and she's like the drink police. She's like, "Wait a minute, that was water. That was water. I saw it. Get something."
Exactly. That's how you get people to talk. Also, so.
Yeah.
What a party it would be.
Yeah, kind of sad. We need more people there.
Bunch of karaoke.
We have music. You know, we have James doing magicianal tricks. You know, I'm gonna be dressed in the nuns.
Yeah,
maybe wearing someone else's shoes. and then, you know, I mean, great conversation, drinks. I mean, I think that's a party. Doesn't matter who's there.
No. And Anna would be the ghost and just leave me the party.
But how wise we are, we're like exercising her. We're gonna like have a seance. You're like, Anna's here. We know it.
You could dress up as like the psychic woman from those times, Lennan. You would find like a nice like head wrap and like a robe, and then Anna's dressed as the ghost, and Hanny's out there acting possessed with like her fingers like this.
Yeah,
oh, the ghost of Anna's got me.
I'll be like underneath the tablecloth, making the table move. Ooh.
You're being the Madame Blavatsky at the party.
Yeah,
I was thinking the exact same thing, honey. I was like, we're gonna conjure up Crowley or conjure up Blavatsky, you know.
Yeah, it's like, honey, it's like whatever you do with your fingers and like this. Like Crowley.
That was so hard for me to get my fingers even a little bit like that. I'm like using my other hand to force it. Like,
don't break fingers, James.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna hurt myself.
I'm crying.
Yeah, I always do this. This is when laughing gets good when you get crying. That's when it hits the spot. The exact spot. But hey, dudes, it's 2 hours have passed, and I know that Manuela needs to go to places. So just when wise people leave the party, when the party is at its peak, and then they don't fuck up and have remorse, regret the next day. So I think this is the peak moment of the party. Nobody wants to leave, but I think
Yeah.
the head won't hurt so bad tomorrow morning. I want to thank you guys. It's been, it's always great to hang out and just I appreciate how willingly you just jumped in when I told you to just grab your decks and come in. Respect. We had, perfect trust here in the group, and it was a great way to spend a Sunday evening here in Finland. You lucky bastards in US, you still have all your Sunday ahead of you. I'm gonna go to bed and go to work. But I started with the Three of Cups, and my Three of Cups just feels even better. So just wrap it up real quick with the card that you started and see how you're feeling now. Are you still, Anna, at the Two of Swords, or did we change the mood?
I am at the Two of Swords, but I also feel the Three of Cups for sure. So that's just always how do you say that? Like a way to console whatever's going on. So that's a good thing.
Mm.
I'm ending with this. This is what I feel right now. I feel overjoyed to be a part of this, but I feel very like we're just really getting started. So we need like a part 2. That's the I'm getting.
Yeah. Whose channel is up? Just let us know, and then we'll continue from there. And you get to choose the questions. Whoever is hosting gets to choose the questions. So.
Thank you so much, Annie, for making it.
You've got so many more questions, though, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
In the back of an envelope. But what about James and Manuela? How is the mood now when we're ending?
Ooh, sun card for sure. Mostly because you guys, you made this such a good time. Also partly because my fingers are really messy and digging through the cards, and this was just really right there, but I would have picked it anyway. Yeah, definitely feeling more sun than hanged man. The coins are firmly in my pocket, and life is good.
Yay.
What about Manu?
I got the Six of Cups. I really like that card, and not thinking it only as a memory that lies back in time. It's also the memories we make in the here and now. And I really feel that we made a great memory together here. The live stream will be over in some minutes, but we can take away that 2 hours together and look back on them, and we'll be able to look forward to more similar events as well.
Yeah, because if we crack the meaning of life in this one, so what we're gonna do in part 2?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody who watched this in the live chat and people on the replay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.